Today's cancer myth buster is stop exercising when you have cancer. So this one, I don't even know where this came from because, anyone that's ever had cancer, one of the things you see right away is that they start to get weaker. They start to lose muscle. In many cases, they lose the ability to walk. And one of the threshold questions that we have for people, in order to, how do we know if we can help someone when they're calling in and I don't physically see them? One of the questions is, can you walk 2 minutes on your own without stopping? And for most people, that's not something to even worry about because they can walk fine. But when you have someone that maybe has had a disease that's been progressing for a long time in their body, what happens is they feel okay, then they feel a little tired, and they go, well, I'm not in pain. And the next thing you know, they can't get out of bed. And the reason is the disease has progressed and it's spread throughout their body and it's interfering with normal functions. And sometimes what happens is when healthcare professionals see someone that's very frail or weak, they don't want to overstress that person. And so they say, hey, don't do anything too strenuous. But if I were to get that professional and bring him into my facility where every one of our cancer patients works out, our cancer patients have a strength coach. They have an expert on how to get people stronger. They would see that our patients gain 10 pounds of muscle during 6 to 12 weeks of training with us. So they're not getting weaker, they're getting stronger. And now because they're stronger, they're going up 2 steps at a time. They're throwing out their wheelchair. They're getting rid of their crutches because they don't need help walking anymore. And my point about sharing this information for you is that cancer is a terrible disease, but the way we help people isn't feeling sorry for them and making things easier. The way we help them is to address the weaknesses in their physiology so that now they become more able-bodied. And once they're more able-bodied, they get better. So think of it in a different context. If you had an athlete that you're working with, and let's say the athlete's trying to improve their sprint speed, and if you analyze that athlete and you see that they have a very slow start, you'd work with that athlete to improve their start so that way they have a faster time during the sprint. If, let's say, the athlete has an excellent start, but they fatigue towards the end, so they can't finish the race, then you might work with them to improve their ability to finish the race, so their endurance, or reduce their fatigue. Well, now, when it comes to cancer, why do we just see people, or I should say, why do some professionals see people and say, hey, take it easy? Why not instead say, hey, look, I see where you're struggling here. I see that you're so weak you can't even get up off the ground if you fall. So I'm going to help you get stronger so that 1, you don't fall, but 2, if you did fall, you're going to have no trouble getting up off the ground. And we can do that very easily today. There's so much science has made available to us now, we could help almost anyone. And so I hope that you got some insight out of this today that, hey, we can help you get stronger and you should be exercising. Now the caveat though is that if you have cancer, you don't want to be exercising on your own. Most people don't know what type of exercises to do, for example, to stimulate lymphocytes. They don't know what to do specifically to increase their bone density so they don't harm themselves if they had cancer that spread to their bone. So you want to be under the guidance of a competent professional. And then once you kind of get educated on what to do, that's when you start training more and more on your own. But you don't want to jump ahead and just assume you know what you're doing, because you could be doing movements that won't give you the best return on your investment of time and provide the fastest results possible. Because think of it, if you have a disease that's progressing, you don't want slow results. You want fast results. You want something that's going to make impact in your life right away. So I hope this was informative, and I hope it gave you a new perspective on what you can do if you have cancer. That's one of my pet peeves is not enough people with cancer are exercising the way they should be.